way all the time.
So during this time, you had a job at Gary Job Corps that you'd worked, what, 7 years?
7 years,
Okay.
yes, sir.
So we're taking a working person out of the community. You have, how old's your son?
I got a 3-year-old son. I did work at Gary Job Corps for 7 years, and I've had to send my 3-year-old son and my lovely bride to Tennessee to stay with my sister right outside of Nashville, and I've had to move my son into my place so I can maintain the payments on my mortgage so I don't lose my place while I'm doing my little stench for the federal government there.
And you are, and on top of this, here's something that you've been doing for income for years on the side, or just it's a hobby.
It's a hobby.
Hobby.
It's a hobby.
More than anything else, but it's something you enjoy. It's taking away a freedom. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. We have taken away, and this is we. All right, this is you, me. All of us here this is we the people. This is the government. This is, if we don't take ownership of this and say this is wrong to include us in this injustice that we've done to this person. That's wrong. And it's what we need to be up in arms. And I'm going to remind everybody again, the phone's quiet here. I hope we're going out live tonight. And you can call in 512-754-0084. Call me wrong. Tell me, that this is, that somebody's doing the right thing here. But I would disagree with you. But call in and talk CB and talk to me about, what we can do to help this man out, because, this is our backyard. All right, this is, Austin. What's to keep them from coming down here, coming through the door, and saying that, I'm interviewing a fugitive, or not a fugitive, excuse me, a convicted, felon. At this point, which I hate to even say that, CB. I mean, I just don't. It sticks in my mouth. It's sick. Here is somebody that, hold up your Constitution there. This is well worn and tattered. Okay, and I hope they allow you to keep that with you, man, because that's going to be a good rock for you. And we're gonna keep up with you. We're going to try to be there, and you let us know with whatever we can do to help with your family, and that's what we need to let the people out there know. And this is, this is really something that we've got to watch diligently. This is where the people need to be out there, and folks, this man's given up his freedom. He's saying that. No, I'm not going to admit guilt because there isn't anything to be guilty of. And if we don't start standing up as well, if we don't feel that pressure, they're going to pick everybody off one by one. And they're going to do that. And that's what we the people is about, is sticking together and making sure that we can help and to make sure that we are holding our elected representatives accountable at all levels. And those elected representatives shouldn't say, well, there's nothing I can do. I'm sorry. There's a lot you can do. There's something called the bully pulpit. I seem to remember that from back in Teddy Roosevelt's time. And, I appreciate a prayer and I appreciate the thoughts, but we need to have some people coming up for us and coming out here and standing up for people like him. What's the feeling in your gut about this when you talk about it?
It makes me almost physically ill. I mean, I'm a constitutional type person. I believe in the whole Constitution, not just the Second Amendment, but all of it. And it makes me physically ill. Physically ill. If you look at that, that's well worn and tethered, just like Rob was saying. And I've carried it for quite a while. And I've given away a bunch, and I've sold a few. And people need to live by that. And I can't believe that 12 of my peers found me guilty of this travesty when they sat there and heard the truth from 3 to 4 different people, and not the exact same language, but the same truth, because the truth doesn't change and lies does. That's why the major witness that the federal government had up there had to stay up there for 2.5 hours and told the story 6 different ways. I never varied.
Well, let me go down a kind of path here. One of the big issues is with our neighbor to the south is the guns coming over the border. And, a lot of our politicians and a lot of the people in the administration have been pushing that, and from Mexico, I've seen that in the news. It's because it's so easy to get a gun in the U.S., and that's the problem, that they're coming down over the border. I'm wondering whether this is trying to kind of set this up as a, kind of make you the fall guy for our PR battle with the Mexican government.
It's very possible, but the thing of it is they're not just coming from the gun shows. Those are minute. If they're coming from anywhere, they're coming from ship containers that are pulling into the Gulf of Mexico and docking and offloading right there. The onesies and twosies that come from the gun shows can't amount to a hill of beans as to the ones that are coming off the ship containers. They're bringing them in by ship containers, picking them up with forklifts, and offloading them and distributing them and selling them as they see fit down there, because anything for $1 goes down there. Been to the interior, I know what it's about. I've seen how money can buy anything, and money can buy anything in this country too, obviously. It's bought by freedom.
So, we're talking about going after the gun shows. Just a few, minute amount of guns. And you're right, it's a very small percentage. So why is that so important?
Got to take away the freedom from the people. If you can stifle the people, then the government can grow. The government can get larger. And they can do the same thing they did in Europe years and years ago in the 40s.
With keeping the guns away and taking our amendment.
Correct.
And, this is always, I'm going to be straight up, okay? I support Second Amendment rights. I'm all for the right of a person to bear arms for the purpose of a well-regulated militia, and I don't own a gun. And, I'll lay it on the line there. Now, I've got a few bows. I've got some walking sticks that can definitely, I know how to use those if I had to protect myself or my kids. But that's a personal choice of mine. And I believe in the Constitution and in the rights that are laid out there, and that it is not a living document, and that we need to protect those rights, because when we start letting those go, then what's next? First Amendment, we're going to start playing with that. What about we're already having problems with the 10th Amendment, for the rights of the states. We are under attack, and call me a paranoid right-winger if you want, but I think here is an example of someone that they would just as soon lock away, and that we forget. And we can't forget. We can't forget this. We may not be able to go back and change this. You are doing an appeal now. You are looking at appeal, right?
Yes, sir. We're going to do an appeal.
And
I'll be meeting with my attorney tomorrow, and we'll be filing the paperwork to do an appeal. Because if they're going to make me a felon, they're going to have to make me a felon to the nth degree, because I'm going to fight all the way to the end, because I will not bow down and kiss the king's boots. It's not going to happen.
Okay. So, Ben, thanks. Thanks for coming out tonight. I know this is great, but you've got a long walk ahead of you. My hat's off to you, man. You know, much appreciated, and I know for all the folks out there. We've got about another minute or so here. Is there anything you'd like to kind of leave us with tonight?
This is not about me. This is about all of us, we the people. And if we don't stand up together, we're going to fall separately. And that's all I got to say. It could be you.
All right.